right, you have to bring us in. Remember, it's the Meyers Jewelers Experience.
Meyers Jewelers Experience.
Yes. Give me the official hand point. Welcome to the Meyers Jewelers Experience. And experience Meyers Jewelers.
That's the best gimmick in the business. I love that point.
Yeah. Love
Does that come up a lot there for you, Jeff? Do you get a lot of people that
There's
point
a
at
few people that do, yes. It was funny. I was in Martini's at the bar a couple of weeks ago with a buddy, and the bartender comes over and said the gentleman across the bar was wondering if he could get a Meyers Jewelers point. So I gave him the point at the bar.
We were at the hockey game, and my daughter and I, and she saw that stand-up that's on that.
Yes.
What do you want to call it? Whatever that part of that wall is. And she ran right over to it, so she made me take the picture.
I
said,
like
you
that.
see him all the time. And she's like, it's different.
It's different. It's a picture on a wall.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you want to cover any hockey before we get right into bridal season? I know that you're a big Blue Jackets sponsor.
I am. Big game tonight. Well, this will air on Sunday, but big game Thursday and Friday here. So should be pretty good. They're clinging to the second wild card spot by 2 points over Florida.
Now, if they get into the wild card, will we see you or Scott on the ice? Are there any?
No, we're not playing.
No, I don't mean playing. We've seen you in the elf costumes on the ice.
No, we won't be doing that one. No.
Okay, good.
No, but we are doing a pretty good little giveaway in conjunction with the Columbus Dispatch.
Oh, go on. What's that about?
Yes, and we're one of three. It's Dispatch, Marathon Oil, and us. Dispatch is giving $5,000 cash. Marathon Oil is giving $2,000 in gas, and we are giving
$2,000 in gas.
No, we are giving a $5,000 bright crystal diamond away, and we will be giving it away on the ice. So yes, we will be on the ice,
and it's
the final game of the year, April 5th. Everybody look for it on dispatch.com and sign up.
Even if they don't like hockey, they should still come to see you on the ice.
Well, I don't know about that, but why not win the good prize? So check it out.
We're trying to help
you can win a bright crystal diamond.
That is only available where?
Meyers Jewelers.
There you go. I thought that's a nice little plug. We should plug some things.
Yeah, why not?
Well, let's move on because I thought what was important today is it is bridal season. We're right on the verge of it.
We're in it. Love is everywhere, especially at Meyers Jewelers.
Yes, I've seen a lot of love going on there.
Yes.
The question I have for you is, and I think we've known each other close to 20-some years, and
fortunately, yes.
Well, I'm a big fan of you, but the April-May time period was always this big focus we had on bridal season. And
correct.
I never knew the answer on why is it the April-May? Why is that time period like the real attraction for that?
It's not anymore, and I don't know why it was. Bridal season now is more year-round. It doesn't matter. March.
Is that the age, the difference in the millennials coming up?
It could be, yeah, because it was just always traditionally May, June brides. You always hear about all that, and the traditional way of you get engaged, and roughly a year later you get married. So if you're going to and it was always May, June, brides, as I mentioned. So I think it had to do with, the guys, well, we're going to get married in June or July, so we need to, get engaged a year before.
Right.
Where that's definitely not the deal anymore.
Yeah, I don't see that. I see more of a trend of that 6-month period between engagement and getting married. It
seemed to have shortened up.
Yeah, but so if you went,
and there's a lot of people that get married now in the winter. It doesn't have to be summertime.
It just seemed to be a strange thing that it was that we would focus on doing campaigns at that time.
Yep.
But it was always in that area, and then we would kind of take time off. But so did everybody else. It was April, May was the big push, then June, July. But they were still wed. I mean, I remember going to weddings June, July, August, September. Once it hit football season, you didn't have as many of those.
No way.
But so you're seeing that has kind of changed. Do you think this goes back to, when Meyer was around? I mean, it was probably the same thing, right? The big key was April, May.
No, for sure. Yes, positively.
I guess that would make sense. If you were waiting a year, if you bought your ring in April or May, it would be, the weather would break and you'd have you could have outdoor ceremonies versus, if you do it January through March, you're indoors.
Everything's definitely different than it used to be. That's for sure.
When you used to do the Columbus Bridal shows too, right?
Yes, we did.
What are you seeing there? Because I don't know if that's still a hot show. I know people.
You know what? I don't know. We didn't do it last year, and we did not do it this year. So it's now been 2 years in a row we have not done it.
It doesn't seem to be as hot button an event as it used to be, and I think.
Well, it used to be downtown at the convention center, which I thought was a great spot for it. And now I believe it is at the fairgrounds, the Ohio State Fairgrounds.
Which is great for like a rodeo, but maybe not so much a wedding.
Well, I guess they have a pretty nice convention.
They have a nice hall
building,
down there.
a convention hall. That's the word I was looking for. So that's where it's at. But I don't know. We don't participate in it anymore. So I really don't know how good or bad it is anymore.
You've seen a lot of these like online, like the Knot. I don't know if that's a big thing anymore. But when I got married, I was 26, 27 years old. It seemed to be everybody. That was kind of like the Facebook, like, I don't know if you got too much into that.
Not really, no. I think with as popular as Pinterest and all those different things are, I don't know how popular. I mean, I guess the Knot still has some pretty good legs on it.
I don't really hear that much about it. That's why I was curious.
Yeah, I don't hear as much anymore either. I think there is just so much out there that people can just find everywhere that maybe that's not quite as important. Kind of like, I'm looking at my marketing now, and this is an interesting thing. And if anybody out there is listening right now, I'm just kind of curious. And you can send us a message, correct, on Facebook
correct.
There as you're watching.
Yep.
I'm noticing a big upswing on connected TV. And the cord cutters, as they're calling them, the ones that had DirecTV or Time Warner or Spectrum now or Wow or any of those, they're not using it.
Right.
They're downloading the apps and using it, on connected TVs through Apple TV or Roku or the sticks or whatever they're using. So that's a whole new way of marketing now. So I've been looking into that, and I ask a lot of people, how do you watch your TV? Do you do a connected TV or the more traditional way? So anybody out there wants to feed in on it, I'm just kind of curious what you guys are using for your TV. Well, Thank you for your input.
We have someone sitting in the back room that doesn't have cable and watches everything on an app.
You watch apps back there?
Yeah.
All right.
And she's 25 years old now, probably never going to get married and have a lot of cats, but that's someone we could ask about cutting the cord.
Okay.
So, I mean, we don't want to
She's
ask
a cord. You're a cord cutter, huh?
Oh no, I was ears for this comment.
Okay.
She's very useful, I promise.
You're a cable?
I'm cable.
I figured that. Us old farts are cables.
Yep.
Well, when we're doing the marketing and we're looking for people, now that traditional April, May, we've changed our approach. So we're advertising every week of every month. Do you see a different age group that's coming in? Do you see the younger group coming in, or is it more the traditional? You guys kind of get them both. You get
we get a wide range because with the huge upswing on second and third marriages, generally when you're hitting those second and third marriages, you've gotten a little older.
Right.
And
but you've said in the past when you have to upgrade the ring. So if you were married before, you've got to upgrade the ring for the new wife, right?
Correct. It's all sorts of different fun things with that. But the market, it's just such a wide variety of folks. Love. Everybody falls in love, whether you want to or not. And eventually,
it's unavoidable.
It just happens, whether it's, same sex, different sex, who cares? It is a totally different world out there, and we cater to everybody. I could care less who's coming in. We just like to see people, and there is all age brackets. And I will say, with the legalization of same-sex marriage, it has seen a rather large upswing in that, which I found to be very interesting.
Okay, but I have a question about that.
Yes.
I don't want to cut you off, but this was interesting because I saw this happen in the store, but I couldn't tell what they bought. Are they buying diamonds or are they buying bands?
Are you talking about men or women?
Well,
because the women will buy each other engagement rings, generally, which is kind of nice because you get, out of one couple, 2 engagement ring sales, so that's nice. And then the men generally do bands for each other. But, kind of like what you get with, heterosexual couples, bands and an engagement ring.
Right.
But, it's totally different. You got to, basically cater to everybody. And the other thing I've noticed, just talking about how things are so different, is I remember in the old days where when you have a lot of customers coming in, I don't care who it is, there's no way everything goes perfect 100% of the time. There's going to be a mess up. It's unavoidable. And always in the old days, the threat from a customer, if there was a problem, they would automatically come running in. I'm going to go to 6 on your side.
Right.
Which, I don't know if they still have that or not, but no one says it because you have the internet. So it is totally different world. I'm guessing that if a store does not really focus on their customer service, then they are going to be getting very poor reviews and therefore lose business. It's just totally different how you have to focus on that in order to keep a good, strong business going. And we like to say that is our specialty.
Right. I was going to say, you haven't had to change the model.
Our model hasn't had to change and oh God, now we got to be nice to people. It's nothing like that. We've always done that. We always will. That was my father's motto. You treat people the way you want to be treated. Treat them like family, and they generally will come back and recommend other people to you, and you will get a lot of customers that way as well. So we've stuck with that.
When you are dealing with something that's so sensitive, like the bride,
love,
in general, that is the overwhelming emotion. And you said you're going to make mistakes along the line. Are there some that you look at and you're like, you know what? That's unavoidable.
Usually the mistakes, like if I say a mistake, and this is every store will have it, a ring's not made properly. The factory, something was wrong in the mold and diamonds are falling out or whatever. That's usually the issue. We don't have generally issues with, being rude and mean and not a guy walks in his work clothes and we're not waiting on him. You always hear that story of the farmer going to a car dealer with, $50,000 in cash in his trunk or something to buy a car, and nobody would wait on him. And then he shows everybody and, says, F you, and goes to the other dealer.
Right.
But we've never had that issue. But the problem usually can be because, there can be a problem with a ring, and we make it right.
Well, there is no more emotional purchase than when you're buying a ring for what you're saying is forever. And statistically, we're looking at that's right for about 50% of the people.
Yeah,
right?
Half the folks it is.
Half the folks is forever.
And the ring will hopefully be around forever, and it just can be given to a child, even if the marriage isn't there, or something like that.
Well, it does get passed
or
down.
Resold at a pawn shop. Who
or
knows?
Back to Meyers Jewelers for a trade.
Or back to us, yes. Traded in for another one. Or something else.
So you're seeing this change in the way that the sales have gone and Bridal is treated. What are the differences you're seeing in terms of the styles of what people are buying? Because we've had this conversation about
totally
Levion and the different color schemes that they have. Are you still getting the majority as traditional white gold bands, that kind of thing, or are you seeing
white gold's still way more popular than everything else? There is a little more upswing on rose gold, And for the men, I have noticed recently a large upswing on black wedding bands.
The solid black band?
A black, like tungsten carbide steel in black versus the traditional white or gray. So that has been interesting. It's been around for a while, but I've noticed it becoming a lot more popular.
That's not really a cost thing either, because the majority of people that see that tungsten look at it like it is a cheaper versus
Much
getting
cheaper,
a platinum band.
lesser priced metal.
But it looks, it's just very unique. It's a very cool look. And you are seeing it in magazines, you're seeing that appear over and over, like celebrities are wearing it. Obviously they have the money, but they like that look, and the feel of it is so much, I mean, this ring I'm wearing right here is a tungsten ring.
Yeah, tungsten ring. Yeah. Nice.
But, I mean, I think this was $35.
Ooh, that's a nice ring.
Well, you know, top of the line, buddy.
Yeah. All right. I like it.
But I see that more and more on men having that darker ring, and also there's a lot of guys that wear it to the gym, or like it won't scratch, right? That's the advantage of the
That is the advantage. Can't, very hard to scratch and break or bend.
But conversely, platinum bands, that was a big, especially in
platinum was a real big metal for a while. It's died down quite a bit. It was a lot more expensive.
Right.
But it is way down in price now. Price per ounce for platinum is about the same as gold now. Difference is platinum weighs about double the weight. So generally it's about
easier, right? So it marks up easier than
it marks up easier than tungsten, but not than gold. You know, similar thing. Gold scratches as well.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's more for the wedding bands for the guys. Tungsten carbide steel or gold.
I gotcha. Let's take a break here because I want to get back into the bridal conversation.
I love the bridal.
I kind of got you bouncing around, but I really want to get into what we have going on at Meyers Jeweler for bridal season, and bridal season's on us now. So,
sounds good to me.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Meyers Jewelers
See you in a little bit.
So I want to go back into, I want to really focus on what we're doing in the store. You know what I mean? So
yes, let's do the buying show.
13th and 14th. It's called the buying show.
Well, the estate buying show.
Estate buying show.
I can tell some about that.
8-9 more minutes.
I can talk. Quick. Then I can talk. You say, why don't you say like you have a couple events coming up?
Right. What's the dates of the other ones? We
got 13th and 14th for the estate show, 27th and 28th for the bridal show.
Yeah, the end of April. Gotcha. Right after my birthday.
And then maybe for the
I'm gonna get you a wedding ring, Jimmy.
Maybe for the second one.
You're not my type.
We can focus a lot more on the bridal show.
That's fine.
On the next show, I can talk pretty in depth on it.
Because we're gonna, once we get this 9 minutes done, we're gonna shut it, retype it on Facebook Live, and we're gonna go right into it. So we'll go strictly bridal show.
Excellent,
Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
Is that gonna be
Nobody asked you cord
I
cutter.
wasn't even in the room when you guys were talking about whatever you were talking about.
Listen,
I had just walked in.
Just because we gotta wake you up every once in a while to do a little.
I was
Here
doing
we go.
your work.
Hey, she's working
Our
over
work,
there.
you
I
piece
watch
of
her.
trash.
She's working.
Okay. You ready, Jimmy?
Yeah.
You gotta bring us back.
Here we go.
Okay. All right, welcome back to the Meyers Jewelers Experience. And I'm here with Mike Morris. And this is Jeff, and we're talking jewelry.
Yeah, specifically what we've got going on for
everything that women love, jewelry.
Yeah. Love and jewelry, the two things.
Yes. They go hand in hand.
Now, we kind of got off track because we were talking about bridal and the actual pieces that we're doing, but I think we also need to talk about you have two events coming up in April.
The first event is April 13th and 14th, Friday, Saturday, and that is our estate buying show. And that kind of goes hand in hand with what we were talking about earlier when the ring doesn't quite work out. Right. And sadly, it does happen. And it is not easy to go out and sell back your ring to wherever you're going to go back to sell it, whether you bought it from us or whoever. We have a group that comes in, and they're in our store, so it's all done in our store, and they will pay top dollar for jewelry, collectibles such as stamps, coins, They'll do really high-end baseball cards, football cards, all that, basketball, and antique jewelry, all sorts of different things.
They have people that can grade.
They know all about all that stuff. We got people to bring in like documents that were signed by like presidents and all sorts of things. It's almost like that show. The Pawn Stars. There you go.
I was thinking of the one where you bring in your, like, I've got this vase from like the 1930s. Is it worth this, or is it?
Oh yeah, that's on.
That's on PBS.
PBS. No, not quite like that one.
Antiques Roadshow.
Antiques Roadshow.
Yes. No, this is where they're.
That's the one.
Because they're not buying or selling there.
Right. But that's what I thought you were doing with the estate show when we first started talking about this, because I didn't realize it.
No,
was
more the other way. You bring it in, we figure out, or we don't. They do figure it all out, and then they will.
They're writing checks on site, aren't they?
Checks right on site. We've been doing this with them now probably 7-8 years, usually twice a year, and we get people all the time inquiring when. April 13th and 14th. That will be the day.
And that's
so if you have something
day,
you want
right?
you can bring in old gold, diamonds, you name it. Doesn't have it could be horrible condition, something that's just been run over by a truck, and we'll get it figured out. Or even worse, stepped on by you.
Oh, that's hurtful. That's so hurtful.
So
I did see somebody bring in a stack
or the muscle lady over here.
Yeah.
She could crush it with. Well, I was gonna say with her. Let's go with her fingers.
It's International Ladies Day. We can't talk
Yes.
about that. If I could get $9 for her, I would take her into the store. But I think
That'd be tough to get.
Yeah. I like the fact that she's sitting right there recording this while we're bashing her. It's really
Yes,
good.
that makes it nice.
So we've got those two events, and
Yes.
those are full day events, right?
Yeah, that day, 2 days, and then 2 weeks later we have another great event, which is our annual bridal show. So you can come in and purchase your engagement wedding rings right there from all of our manufacturers will be in the store.
Each one. So Levion, Tacori, Hearts on Fire.
Tacori does not come in, but they will be represented. They
Okay.
won't have anybody there, but most of the brands will have a representative there. They send all their jewelry for us to have for the 2 days, the entire line. So you can't find a piece of jewelry mostly geared towards bridal that you like, you'll never find one. There's probably 5,000 rings there. And also Triton, who makes all the tungsten carbide steel wedding bands, will be there with every single ring they make. Art carved wedding rings, and those, it's great for the guys so they can come in and see literally every type of wedding band available. And the best thing this year, we're doing something a little new. Every single solitary thing there, other than loose diamonds, is going to be 20% off.
What? Just
Right
for
off
those
the
2
bat.
days?
Just right off the bat. Yep. Usually we would give a gift card or dinner somewhere, and we decided to do a straight 20% savings across the board, everything but loose diamonds. So there.
So they
How
can
about
pick
that?
They can get their bands at 20% off, and then
Correct.
So
you know what's coming in. You can. There's no hocus pocus. We're not marking it up 20 to take off 20. It's a true 20% savings. Can't beat it.
That's really huge.
Oh, it's going to be great. And we will have amazing prices as well on the bright crystal diamond.
Which
And
is,
we will
again,
have lots of them.
only available at Meyers Jewelers.
Correct. And our representative, our diamond cutter, will be there with maybe $1 million or so extra in loose, bright crystal diamonds. And possibly in the next show, I'd kind of like to go into a little bit about
Yes.
the bright crystal diamond a little more. I don't think we have quite that much time today.
We do not, but if they listen on Facebook later, or if they listen
Yes.
next week, you will hear the full breakout of this.
Yes, so we'll explain. I'm going to explain more in depth about the bright crystal diamond and about the bridal show coming up, and let everybody know all about that. So, what do you think of that, Mike? What do you think of that new way we're doing the bridal show?
first of all, I can't believe you're giving 20% off.
20% off.
Across the board, other than
Yes.
the loose stones. That right there is a significant savings.
Correct.
Who came up with that? Are you
Me.
gonna- okay, good. I thought you were going to say Scott or Rob Scott of the.
I did run it by Scott, though, because we are partners and we are, believe it or not, two partners that actually get along well. And our brothers. What do you think of that?
I will vouch for that. I've seen that.
And we run ideas off each other, and I had that idea, ran it off of him. We talked about it and felt like it was a good idea. We talked to our brands because most brands don't encourage that. But for a special bride show, 2 days only, they've condoned it and said it's okay, and we're doing it.
All right, we have like 1 minute left. Hit those dates one more time and let them know.
All right, so the bridal show, April 27th and 28th, Friday, Saturday. In our store, Meyers Jewelers, Grove City. And if you had bought something, say, previous at one of our shows, and unfortunately the marriage didn't work out, and you want to get rid of it, come to April 13th and 14th. And we
You
will
got you covered on both ends.
we will be able to have the folks that'll be in the store to buy it back. And if you have a ring or something, you inherited and you just don't want to wear it, you're not a jewelry person, whatever, they buy it. You have a great stamp collection. You've been collecting since you were 2. And you want to sell it? Come on in. We'll buy it.
All right. Well, that's all we got for this week. Send them off.
Well, I want to thank everybody for listening to the Meyers Jewelers Experience. And remember this, experience Meyers Jewelers.